Hi everyone and welcome to Diverse Dividends. I'm your host, Sara Loriot, Institutional Portfolio Manager at SAG Global Asset Management and a member and volunteer of the CFA Society Toronto community. So today I'm excited to introduce our guest, Rafael España. So Rafael knows about establishing a career journey in a new country. He joins us from Colombia, where he held a variety of senior positions, and he also has a very rich and diverse background. He's worked on the buy side, he's worked on the sell side, he's worked for both small and large companies, and of course, he's worked in different countries. Upon arriving in Canada, his career had to take a step back, and this is a reality that many newcomers face. So in today's episode, Rafael will share some of the invaluable lessons that he's learned along the way about adaptability and the benefits of being part of a community like CFA Society Toronto and what that can do to help you kickstart your journey in a new country in finance. So I think that today's episode will be very inspiring. Rafael, thank you so much for being here with us today and welcome.
Thank you, Sara, for having me here.
Oh, of course. I should say muchas gracias. Bienvenido.
Yeah. Thank you. Gracias.
Of course. Okay, so starting with your career journey, would you be able to share what your professional journey looks like and at the same time, how you've transitioned across different countries and industries?
Yeah, great. Well, I started my career back in 2007 during the global financial crisis. I worked for a pension fund, was in charge of the performance attribution models. Then I moved to the sell side. I worked in research positions. Then I moved to a small startup, an e-commerce company that was set up along Latin America. And then since then I started working in senior position, managerial ones. And then I moved to Canada. Here I'm working as a treasury consultant analyst.
So how did the transition across countries go?
Well, it's really interesting. Adaptability is paramount, definitely. And yes, like that thing that they say that everything is changing, like the change is the constant. It's something that you realize as soon as you land to another country. Everything moves really fast and it's not steady across countries. So far, it's been quite a journey. Yeah.
Great. So having worked both in Latin America, in Colombia, where you're from, and in Canada, can you share some of the unique perspectives that you've gained along the way?
Oh, totally. In Latin America, as everything is most of the economies are emerging markets. Everything is volatile. So macroeconomics are really important. Most of the conversations go around macroeconomics and in a sophisticated way. When you come to Canada, it's totally different. Microeconomics are really important. And you will realize that when you see the level of specialization of any role here. So in Latin America, you see that people may have a good holistic view of what a company is. It's really good because moving from role to role do not require that level of specialization. But here in Canada, definitely you'll see people that's been doing one thing with a very depth of knowledge and they have invested a lot of time, years in those positions, and they know a lot about a specific thing, not necessarily in an holistic way. But yeah, that's something that I realized as soon as I came here.
That is so interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to have that perspective because I've never worked in a different country, but I am from a different province. So I've worked across different provinces and I can say that things are done differently. And there was some adaptation and learning for me as well. So in terms of what you've just mentioned, have these experiences shaped your approach to how you view finance?
Yeah, totally. As I mentioned, adaptability is paramount, but definitely when I landed here, I realized that I should restart like getting specialized again. Like when you grow up in your career and you climb up the ladder, you end up understanding that you need to have this generalistic view of things. But so when I came here, I said, okay, that will work, but not right now. I need to re-specialize. And well, I finished my level 2 of the CFA back in 2015. So as soon as I landed here, I realized, hey, I need to finish this. And I restarted to study, and definitely the curriculum changed. And that's good because I got the experience of what what's going on right now. The curriculum is so, it's the state of the art. So it was so good for me. So I re-specialized, and then I understood where should I move or how my uh, job search should be approached. Yeah.
So what got you interested in the CFA program in the first place?
Well, it was a long time ago when I started to start working in the pension fund in the buy side. Um, I was aware that we were managing a portfolio in a passive way, and we had these sell side analysts that they were so smart. I thought they were like, oh, these guys know a lot, and some of them they used to have the CFA designation. So since then, I started to think, okay, maybe in the future I'm going to start studying that. But then after a while, I moved to the sales side and I say, okay, I need this because I thought that I needed to be perceived as an expert. I started doing that, and well, things moved around, and I stopped after I finished the second level back in 2015. But here, specialization is needed.
So now you did your CFA level 3.
Yeah, this
And
year.
congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
Congrats. Well, I hope you get to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's incredible that that you were first interested in the CFA program, you took a break and then went back for it.
Yeah.
That's incredible because that must be challenging.
Yeah, what they say is true. You need to study and don't stop. Please don't do it. Continue doing it fast. Otherwise, it'll become so difficult. Like this skill of being like learning and preparing for exams. It's something that's better if you don't stop doing it. Yeah.
But congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. So talking about challenges, did you face any challenges when you first landed in Toronto?
Yeah. The first one was that I underestimated the power of the network that I had in Colombia. I mean, I guess that it took me 30 years to build a network in an organic way, like from the school, the friends I had, the companies where I moved, the people who I work with along my life. We're a network, my family, everything. As soon as I landed here, I realized that I needed to start building a network, like in not necessarily in an organic way. Yeah. So, and in a really short time, probably 1 year or two, I didn't study here, nor have friends or family. And I underestimated the need of creating a network here. But the CFA Society of Toronto was amazing for that.
That's wonderful. So, you've mentioned that you had a strong network in Colombia because you spent your whole life building it in an organic way. But so, how did you navigate the transition from being a recognized leader back there to effectively having to start over here?
Yeah, but the first thing was to build a network, to meet with people, and to listen a lot. There is one thing that's really good about Canadians, is that they are so open. So in Latin America, if you want to reach or talk to a senior executive, it'll be way more difficult than here. People listen. I mean, here you can have a coffee chat with someone relatively easy. So I understood that by talking to other people, asking questions, and they told me, okay, let's do that. Then I met someone from the society, and they told me, why have you not finished your CFA? Do that, but go to the CFA Society of Toronto. Actually, you don't have to have earned your said CFA designation to be member of the
Mm-hmm.
CFA Society of Toronto. So I came here and I met with people. I tested hypotheses with them. I learned about their experiences looking for a job. Some of them were looking, others don't. And yes, what I mentioned about being specialized is something that I realized about by talking to people, by understanding that my approach at the beginning was probably not that good or not going to be successful. I really need to sell something specific about me and how can I help others.
No, that's so interesting to have some retrospective about your approach to doing things and just being able to adapt. Really, that's I think that's a great strength. So talking about adaptation, adaptability, can you speak to how important cultural adaptability is when working across different countries? But I'll even go to say across different countries, but different industries, different companies as well.
Yeah, totally. It's paramount. I mean, adaptability is the key for success. Even moving from one area to another, when you do that, you will realize that there is people that have been doing a lot and they're experts in the field because you become an expert because you spend a lot of time doing something, you know? So if you move to another place, even with your background, if you want to impose something, it's going to be really difficult. There's going to be resistance for the change. So you need to adapt by listening, learning about other people. That's just from moving one area to another. But if you scale that to a company wide or industry, it's the same. So probably your expertise and the way you do things, even if you think that you are really good at something, it's better to adapt to what others have been doing. And then after a while, you'll say, okay, my feet goes here. So when I came to Canada, I mean, when I moved from the buy side to the sell side, I understood. I understood that selling is really difficult. Selling ideas, it's sometimes it's more about listening others than just talking. Then you move to another industry. Working with marketing people, with tech departments. It's totally different than working with uh, people from finance and economics. Um, then you move to another country with another language, another perspective, with getting to know really good people from all the way around. Um, Trying to show that you are really good is probably something that you need to do, but after you have adapted and listened and learned about others. I think it's faster than just reading or studying. It's better to listen than to see other people doing what they're good at.
Yeah, and yeah, you make a great point. And also on the topic of that adaptability, fully agree that we think of, adapting to the big things, like to countries, to a different language. But the reality is you might work for a company, change companies, and it's two different cultures completely, right? So it's
And
just
there are reasons for that.
and there are reasons for that. Yeah, so love it. Yeah, because it applies to everything. So when you got here, I understand that you got involved with CFA Society Toronto. So can you speak to how CFA Society Toronto contributed to your journey in finding a role in your space?
Yes. When I came here, I mean, we're talking about adaptability, but don't get me wrong. Everyone has something specific about them that can share to others. Sometimes we don't see it. Okay, so when I came here, I was able to come to. There was some coffees like every single month, and I had the opportunity to talk and to listen others person's journey in the job market, and and they continuously repeated really good things that they saw about me. Oh, you are from Latin America. You've been living in America, and I was like, yes, but I mean, there's people from Asia, from Africa, from Europe here that they see America as a different thing, you know. And I was part of Latin America. For me, was that was not like so easy to see. I thought that I was like a total alien here, but then I realized, okay, I understood some manners. The way Americans work is not. I mean, we studied with the same books that people study in the United States. So when I was here, listening to others talk about my strengths was key because I forgot about them. When you are an alien here and you see that everything is difficult, you may feel alone, and there was a community here of people in your same position, but there were senior executives here that gave us like hope, and it's and real, not fake one. They share, um, they share about their experience, and they have seen people like us through their career. So that was amazing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible when putting yourself out there, what might come to you.
Totally.
It's incredible. So we've mentioned that you have a very diverse background. So you've worked for an e-commerce startup, you've worked in research, you've worked in different industries, different countries, as we've mentioned. So how did you leverage that to make yourself an attractive candidate in the Toronto market?
Well, good question. I mentioned adaptability. So when you see a role, you need to understand really what they are looking for. And sometimes they need experts, or sometimes they are working in projects that need to be that need to evolve really fast. When I was in a startup, I mean, we were on the verge of the bankruptcy every 2 months. So I learned that sometimes planning is not that easy. Execution, it's definitely something really important. And you have to execute without having a lot of information, nor the best talent, So you have to move really fast. And sometimes some projects require that. So when I looked for a job that required that, the sort of adaptability and a fast-paced environment, I used what I learned. Um, yes, but when I was in research, uh, I became an expert, and people recognized me back there because they thought I was so specialized and knew a lot about corporate finance and those sort of things. And they say, "Oh, how did you learn about that? You're so smart." And I'm not that smart. I just spent a lot of time doing that. Slowly, a lot of years doing the same, and I felt myself repeating always the same speech, but always I met with someone that have never heard about that. So understanding that sometimes spending or investing a lot of time into a problem, it's way more effective than being really smart, or yeah. It's important because when you arrive to a place and there's people that's been quite a while working in something onto something, um, is not a good approach to say, okay, I'm going to help you learn this and you're going to learn about me. It's the opposite. I'm going to learn from you and I'm going to work with you guys. I understood that, like, as a result of being in the investment research roles. Yes.
Yeah, it's so interesting what you're saying, because I guess the biggest key takeaway for me is the notion of learning, whether it's learning about a role that you're in, or learning about the people you work with, or learning about the culture of a new country that you just landed in. It's just taking all of that and applying it for the next chapter of your life, right? Because there's some learning you can take from anywhere.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's interesting. So being a newcomer, what better person to ask whether you have an advice to other newcomers to Canada, especially those who are looking to break into the finance sector?
Yeah, you have to go to where people in the finance sector are creating conversations, are having conversations, and definitely the CFA Society Toronto is a place. Definitely go to events, the free ones, but also paid for the other ones. I mean, sometimes people do not understand that that's an investment, because I mean, reading about news, even research reports may give you a grasp of what's going on, like understanding the job market. That's okay. But the real conversation, when you listen that from key individuals that are like driving like all the companies here, or others like I in more junior positions that are feeling like what's going on here. Uh, it definitely is a game changer, and you can ask them questions or listen about your experience. Everyone likes to tell their story, and if you
Mm-hmm.
listen to them, you can learn about them. So that's the first approach. Um, Go out, try to network. Sometimes people say, and I used to believe that networking was not that effective, um, but it is. The problem is that it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So as it takes time, start right now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll postpone something that it will take time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Start right now.
start right now.
That is not my biggest key takeaway.
Yeah, and whatever one says, like
Yeah.
looking for a job, it's a job
Mm-hmm.
itself. So if you
Mm-hmm.
are busy doing something, well, you'll not get a job.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have two jobs: looking for a job and the one
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah, no, and going out there, sharing your story, you don't know who your story is going to resonate with. You know, the story that you share might be fully aligned with what that person
Mhm.
is looking for in terms of hiring new talent.
Exactly.
So that's great. So, Rafael, we are now in the dividend portion of our interview. So,
Mhm.
on Diverse Dividends, we have a tradition where we ask each of our guests the same three questions. So, we can
Okay.
view them as rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No. Okay, let's go.
Okay, number one, what do you love about what you do?
Learning about people.
Learning.
Yeah, I
I love
said
it.
that a lot
Yeah,
here, but I love to learn about cultures, people, their experience. I love that.
great. Number two, what is one thing that you have changed your mind on recently?
Oh, the thing about the specialization. I, after a while of working in research, I realized that like to become a manager or someone in a senior position, sometimes being a generalistic, it's way more effective because you need to see like the forest. And since then, I started to jump in roles like from even marketing, working with people from tech, and I lose this connection with the finance. Then I came here and I said, okay, that's not necessarily the case. You need to re-specialize every while, like every 2 to 3 years, you have to restart all over again, even more with AI.
Mm.
We learn something, and in 2 years it's going to be obsolete. But that doesn't mean that we will not have to relearn something really with depthness,
Mm-hmm.
like in a profound way. So that changed for me. I thought that I already reached a point where I could be okay. I know these very well. Now I can be a generalistic. No.
Third question. I know you've given a lot of advice already, but what's one piece of advice that you have for our listeners who are looking to advance their career?
um, Go out of your comfort zone. I know that this may sound like something repetitive, but and it's related with the previous question. Um, as soon as you know something, be aware that it will become obsolete. If you are really good at into something, that's okay, but world is changing really fast. More over, I mean, analytical roles are right now at risk of being like replaced. So you need to go out of your comfort zone and do something different, even if it's move to execution role, or if you are in the execution part, go under something more analytical, and be always on the out of the comfort zone.
Mm.
It, it's like not something really good to hear, because I would love to be at my 50s, like relaxed. I already reached the top of my career. Now, I guess that's not gonna be the case. I'll be there at that moment learning, and a lot of people uh, is doing that and are well trained to learn
Mm-hmm.
and will learn. So if you don't move out of your comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
well, you'll become obsolete.
Yeah, that is so true. Not, I normally only ask 3 questions, but I think I have a 4th question for you.
Okay.
So since arriving in Canada, what is the best meal that you've had?
The best meal? Oh my gosh.
There's
Uh,
only one right answer. Poutine. I'm kidding.
no, I guess after a year, it was a hamburger. That's it. But it was exactly the same day, but after a year, I mean, I landed here on the 9th of June of last year. So the 9th of year of this year, I took a hamburger. For me, was
That's
the
the
best
best.
one. Yeah, because it represented, okay, you made it. You were here for a while.
Oh.
So it was like American way of celebrating something.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
If you have not yet tried poutine, highly recommend.
Okay. I have tried poutine several times. I'll do it like the 9th of June of the
Oh,
next
love
year.
it.
So it'll be the best meal for me.
Great. So that is it. Thank you so much. I learned a lot from you. I think that, biggest key takeaways of learning and staying out of your comfort zone, building a network. I think that's all very valuable to newcomers, yes, but just generally speaking, these are great advice
Yeah,
for
thank you
everybody.
so much. Thank you for having me
Of
here.
course.